Muzundu, Director Agri Investments. What we do at Agri Investments, we are involved in agriculture and equipment. Our range covers the poultry section, beef animals, the dairy section in terms of the equipment. We positioned ourselves to be the small scale farmers' friend by making sure that we are reaching our small scale farmers at their doorstep, helping them to access these our products at an affordable prices. Yeah. So Agri just for your information, we are slightly 10 years by now, because we registered in 2012 when we began this particular journey in business. Our product, we in milky cooler tanks, if you like. The milky cooler tanks is a bulky tank which the smallholder farmers, those who are in dairy, they cool their milk, storage milk, and these people, they would, when they milk their animals, they are able to go and put at one particular point. All of them, we call them the MCCs. So those particular milk cooler tanks are supplied mainly by Agri Investments. So one product which we are involved into is those particular milk cooler tanks, which the smallholder farmers who are in dairy are able to access this particular, from the range of 500 liter milk up to, we've supplied only up to 5,000 yet. We are yet to supply the 10,000 liter tanks. Also the milk cans, the strainers, the milking machines, in terms of the equipment side. The product side, we have the products which are supplementary in terms of the feed and vitamins for animals and also poultry. Our product like Agri is an anti-stress for both cattle, goats, and chickens. This particular product. So it is a product which is helping in terms of growth of the chickens or goats or the cattle themselves. So in the lean period, you require to balance in their diets, and this particular product, it has all the required minerals and vitamins to make sure that the growth is fully done accordingly. So that's part of the product. The most innovative one I can mention to you also is one product to do with the ear tag, which is able to prevent corridor disease like that. Just you put a tag, and then the animals are protected from the brown ear tick, which causes corridor disease. So those are innovative products which we do and be able to give our farmers. So we access our farmers by actually reaching them in their particular locations. When we reach up to them, we do the trainings on how to use some of the products and also showcasing some products. So we move and we reach to them, and they are doing the shows and also actually making sure that we are at their doorstep. The other product which would be also interesting would be majorly the poultry product side. We are involved in all these particular products which the farmers are using for their consumption alongside with their feed, to help these particular farmers actually manage and also reduce their costs, so that they are able to reach the selling point in time. And when you are in business like in poultry, you see the costs reduction, and yet you are maintaining the weights. So Agri has got some products which are able to actually help the broiler farmers, the layer farmers, the village chicken farmers, and also some mixing up products like you are making your own feed, then you supplement, you begin to give your chickens like that. So we have that particular range of products which we have toward ours. We also train farmers by setting up our own workshops, like we call them to here, to train these who are in broilers and layers how to manage the chickens up to the time of selling. One training, we train the beef farmers on how the vaccinations go in terms of the scheduled vaccinations for these particular cattle up to the end. We train these farmers also in terms of how to use the tag which I mentioned, the innovative tag which prevents corridor, how to tag it and how to use what they expect to see up to the end. We also train farmers in terms of how to handle our cooler tanks, the milk cans, and to be hygiene basically in terms of why they require the stainless steel milking can and how to use this particular bulky milk cooler tanks, how to operate it up to the end. And when it is actually fault, we also train what to look like, how to service it, like regular servicing those particular issues which comes alongside with the cooler tanks. So those are basically our trainings. We are involved by actual practical side because we are doing only a product and also showcasing by taking these particular farmers to our farm so that they appreciate the way the chickens could be grown up to how the end and how the disease, they can identify the diseases like that in the poultry and how they for those issues. So those are the trainings which Agri is involved in terms of reaching out to our farmers and our customers. So our range of our customers, we are not basically only the small scale, also the commercial side. We have the commercial farmers like, let me say, like Zambia, like other big ones, the commercial farmers, let me say, who are getting part of our cooler tanks, the milk cans, and other products which they can use for their production. So we are handling both. We were introduced by Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, to Prospero because we are members of Zambia Development Agency. So they linked us to Prospero when they saw the need that actually we needed to have been cushioned in terms of COVID. And that is how Prospero came about through the Zambia Development Agency. And then they gave us all the details on how we should go in terms of Prospero. Then we took that particular thing and we introduced ourselves to say we got these particular details from Zambia Development Agency, and then we were welcomed, and we had applied because we were hit. Since we are importing goods from India and the factory is there, which makes our brands and our products had closed. So we needed to sustain this particular company in the period because India had actually shut down in terms of no operations at all. No, you cannot import for the period of over 6 months. So that is what led us to apply to Prospero, because we had reached at the level where we had no products, and yet we have our employees here who are supposed to be sustained, also the rentals, everything the work which goes around in terms of the working capital. So that is how Prospero came about. After that, how it happened is that definitely we saw we got sustained, we saw growth because we were able to manage after COVID in 2022, March or April, let me say there about. So what we saw is that because of that particular working capital which helped us, so our fund and our end income went towards the boosting in terms of the reordering of the product. So we increased our sales. Let me report to you that our sales increased drastically after that particular funding. For your own information, as a SME, I can report you my financials also immediately. Maybe my financial lookout, although I'm not looking in detail, but I can say that comparison 2021 and 2022, we doubled in terms of how our turnovers looked because of Prospero, which helped us in the period when we needed help. What I'm passionate, my basic trainings is accounts. I'm an accountant professionally. After training in accounts, I worked definitely. I only worked with the private companies, never worked in public or government. So private companies were owned by like family companies, Sebo, Hazida, those companies. And I learned the phases of how they were handling their businesses, and that passionate farmer, me as myself, because of our bringings. So I had this particular passion that I'm not doing, even if I'm working in office, but I'm not doing much more requirement. And that is basically what led me to start looking, what should I do next? And then the other passion is to try and be the solution to the family. So I had also that biggest passion to say I should be dependable person, provide for my sisters, my brothers after the late of both my parents. So I needed to become someone who can actually take care of the family. Now, how do I do that? Is only through the businesses, because salary would not be sufficient. So that is how I were to start the business, desiring to do something for someone, helping much more than I can right now. I think that is the motivation behind the business. Okay, so the company employs mostly the young people, and female and male, young, but we are more on the female side. I think we have more female than male in this our company. In total, we are slightly over 12 employees. And all these are young, dynamic people who are purely graduates from NRDC who did agriculture from there, Masabuka College also of livestock there, and others, just newly graduates. And that's all about Agri-CM, the youths alone who are in this particular company. So, and more biased to female. Why? I think it's because of the way our business is structured, able to do much more. The female is still able to do and pick up our goods to the clients, reaching out. We do the whole Zambia. Let me basically say we are more in southern in terms of the animal population, and also there is that's where a lot of dairy cooperatives are in southern province. We have in Zambia, we have the registered cooperatives which are slightly 100, and 70% of those 100 are in southern province. You can basically say. So our operation and our business meaning is tilted towards there because of the cooler tank, the milking cans and other equipment. Here in Lusaka, we are supplying all the agro shops and chemists, the pharmacists and footwear up to so always have farmers there who are getting our products. So we cover everywhere, and that is, we are not limited. We have